Hello, we will be presenting Samsung Company Analysis Report. We can see here the founder Lee Byung-chul, and he was the first chairman of Samsung Group. And we were able to learn that Samsung began as a grocery store, trading and exporting goods. The original founder vision was to make the company grow, not only in trading and exporting, but in the industrialization industry as well. Here we can see the company timeline, and in recent years, Samsung today has been one of the largest South Korean companies. Here we have a visual representation of the demographic locations of Samsung's regional offices, manufacturing centers, and research and development centers. Product introductions that Samsung has developed throughout the years are listed here, and one of the most iconic ones was the 2010 Galaxy smartphone series with the Android operating system. Service introductions that Samsung has been able to do. In 1978, it was able to establish its first office in the United States, and in 2018, it was able to supply the world's first 5G network equipment in the US. Samsung's previous legal issues started in 2011 after Samsung released the Galaxy series in 2010. Apple sued them for copying the design of the iPhone, kicking it off a winding trail. 7 years later, the legal fight has come to an end, and Samsung has been ordered to pay $539 million for infringing on its patents. Mergers and acquisitions that Samsung has been able to do is they acquired the Korea Semiconductor, and up until recent years in 2017, they were able to acquire Harman. A major impact was the Apple and Samsung lawsuit that lasted for 7 years, and we can see here a timeline of their impact in the US.
Samsung's mission is to devote human resources and technology to create superior products and services, thereby contributing to a better global society. Their vision or goals are stated in the same way. To do this, they will use their core elements of management in order to create the best products and services while contributing to society. They have three main company strategies. The first one is effective market leadership, scanning and utilizing opportunities in the market, and new product development. Their board of directors consists mainly in 5 executive directors, from which 4 of them are the CEO of the company. They also have 6 independent directors, in which one of them has the position of a chairman of the board. The organizational chart consists on the CEO on the top and 2 main divisions. The first one is digital media and communications, including customer electronics and IT mobile communications, and the other one is device solutions. They have multiple training programs for future growth of their employees. One of them is the core program, which engages a sense of belonging in the company, leadership program, for next generation leaders globally, and their expertise program for industry leading in different areas. They have 3 main workplace policies. The first one is child labor prohibition. They have protections for juvenile workers between 16 and 18 years old, and student worker policy, which are the interns. Their employees around the world are in 74 countries. They have more than 300,000 employees and have 216 global bases. 58 female executives are female, and 38 foreign executives. Samsung is known for the Innovation Center organization of culture, which is based on development opportunities, passion for excellence, constant change, and others.
45% of company employee is female, and 18% of which is female engineer, and 30% of female is leadership. Samsung has a list of women and other employee resources group lists above. Environmental, economy, and society are Samsung's social responsibility. Samsung has been involved in environmental activity around the world to create a sustainable future. Responding to climate change activities of resource saving are the activities that Samsung is doing to save the planet. Samsung benefit plan include health benefit, compensations and recognitions, and their 401k. Samsung employee benefit include pay time off, employee discount, on-site perk, and community outreach. On the left-hand side is 2018 Samsung 401k plan informations. Here are the top 4 executive compensations in 2016 and 2017. The highest compensations worth $5.5 million. In addition to Samsung 401k plan, Samsung NQDC plan is Samsung executive benefit program that allow employees to save for the future.
As of 2019, Samsung has a total of over 6 billion total shares outstanding, with 87.9% are common stock and 12.1% are just preferred. For the price ratio, profit per share has increased slightly over time from 18 to 17, only a 7.8% change, while from 17 to 16, it grew dramatically. Samsung went public in June 2003, and they did their first stock split 50-1 in 2018. The dividend ratio had increased in the past 5 years, with 2019 being the only year it stood still a little bit. And as of today, Samsung stock was priced at $42.26. And as we saw earlier, how 16 and 17 were dramatic years, you can see the dip in 2019 of earnings per share. And you can find Samsung on the Korean Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, and the Luxembourg Stock Exchange. Samsung has a total of 25 billion shares to be able to sell out, with each with a face value of 100 won and 33,000 issued at the time. Morningstar Analysis has given it 3 out of 5 stars, which is a fair value. And these are competitors. So you have Apple, LG, and Huawei.
Apple was founded in 1976 in California, and it is also one of Samsung's top competitors, leading in the computers, peripherals, networking, and electronic equipment industry.
LG is also one of Samsung's top rivals and a public company founded in South Korea in 1958. LG is also operated in the consumer electronics field.
Huawei was founded in 1987 in China. Huawei is one of Samsung's nearest competitor with $77 billion in revenue, less than Samsung.
We will start with financial comparison between these companies. Samsung's cash flow analysis show us an increase in net operating activities up to 2018, reaching $37.4 billion in 2019. There's also an increase in investments activities, reaching negative $32.4 billion, and we see a pretty steady trend between financing activities, reaching $7.3 billion by the end of 2019.
Apple's cash flow, we can see the operating is steady, and the financing has been steady, but in the negatives. Their investing has risen from 50 billion in 2019.
For LG in 2019, they've shown a cash flow of 3 billion operating activities, investing at minus 1 billion.7, and a financing at minus 900 million.
Huawei have some up and down for the past 5 years. Cash flow from operating activity, it's end up with $13 billion in 2019.
In their balance sheet, we can also see Samsung's assets going from increasing between 2016 and 2019, reaching 291.1 billion last year. Their liabilities maintained pretty steady, reaching $74 billion in 2019, and their stockholder equity reached 210.4 billion, having a 5.22 debt to assets ratio.
Apple's balance sheet, we can see that the total liabilities has been steady and has been rising from 2016 to 2019, but their total assets have been declining from 2017 to 2019.
For LG, 2019, they've shown a small, steady increase of 36 billion total assets. And the total liabilities, they've reached 23.3 billion. And for total shareholder equity, it's at 11.2 billion. And the debt to asset is 25.10% higher.
Different from Huawei fluctuations of cash flow, its balance sheet continued to rise for the past 4 years and end up with $122.9 billion in total assets in 2019.
Now we see the income statement of these companies. Samsung has a huge difference between revenue and net income, reaching only 9.33% profit margin in 2019 after the revenue was 190.2 billion and their net income was just 17.8 billion.
The income statement for Apple, as we can see, the revenue and net income has been steady from 2016 to 2019 with a profit margin of 21.24%.
For LG, their revenue for 2019 was $55.7 billion, and their net income was only 161 million. So a profit margin of about 0.05.
Same with Huawei assets. Their revenue have been continues to rise for the past 5 years. In 2019, they generate $122.9 billion in revenue.
The price to earnings ratio in 2016, LG was the highest, and in 2017, Huawei was able to remain the highest up until 2018. The PEG ratio in 2016, LG was able to be the highest, and in 2017 and 2018, Apple was able to be the highest.
Samsung's net profit has doubled between 2016 and 2018, reaching $39.9 billion in 2018.
Net profit for Apple has risen from 2016 to 2018 with a 59.5 billion net profit.
For LG in 2018, they have seen a small decrease compared to 2017 at $1.2 billion.
Huawei accumulate a net profit of $8.4 billion in 2018.
And the debt to profit ratio, we see that Apple and LG had the highest ratios between 2016 and 2018. Apple kept increasing while LG kept steady. Huawei reduced their debt to profit ratio, and Samsung kept around the same one in the last 3 years, having huge differences with their competitors.
As we can see that Apple ROA and ROE is increasing over the years, as Huawei is decreasing, Samsung and LG having a great volatility from 2016 to 2018.
Samsung's gross profit had also increased. It has reached $98.6 billion in 2018.
Apple's annual gross profit was able to increase in 2016 to 2017 with 4.66%, and from 2017 to 2018, a 15.48 increase.
For LG, their gross profit for 2018 was around $12 million compared to last year, which is just a little bit lower.
Huawei gross profits was declining the past 4 years, and their gross profits was $62.1 billion in 2016 and went down to $28.4 billion in 2019.
Asset turnover for Samsung was 80% in 2016, 85% in 2017, and 75% in 2018.
Apple's turnover of assets has been able to remain steady from 2016 to 2018 with a 0.7 asset turnover.
For LG, their asset turnover has been, for 2019, it's 1.37 compared to 2018, which is a 1.41.
Huawei asset turnover for the average of 5 year was 0.51 for company and 0.48 for industry.
Samsung's retained earnings went from 1,063 million, 163,000 million dollars to 216,000 million dollars in 2018.
Apple's retained earnings from 2016 to 2017, a 2.04% increase, and from 2017 to 2018, there was a 28.4% decline.
LG had $8 million in 2018 of retained earnings compared to 2017, which came in at $10 million.
Huawei retained earnings have some up and down for the year of 2016 to 2018, with an unpredictable dollar amount of $86.5 billion, $131.4 billion, and negative $54.8 billion, respectively.
The long-term debt of Samsung has gone from $1,101 million to $932 million between 2016 and 2018.
Apple's long-term debt from 2016 to 2017, there was a 28.88% increase, and from 2017 to 2018, there was a 3.57% decline.
LG has seen a small increase in the long-term debt, coming in at about over $7 billion in 2018 compared to last year at $6 billion.
Huawei long-term debt had risen from the year of 2015 to 2017. However, it had dropped down to $305.5 million in 2018.
Working capital of Samsung had maintained pretty steady all between 2015 and 2019. We can see a negative at $3.9 billion in 2015 and $2.1 billion in 2019.
From 2016 to 2018, we can see a decrease of around $13 million in working capital.
LG has seen a decrease of working capital from $3 million to about $725.
No information was disclosed for Huawei working capital.
Samsung's stockholder equity had increased from 2015 to 2018 from 147.4 billion to 215.2 billion dollars in 2018.
We can see a decline from 2016 to 2018 of around $21 million in stockholder equity.
For LG, total stockholder equity has increased to 14 million, which comes into about 1,100 US.
Similar to Huawei long-term debt, its stockholder equity had risen from 2015 to 2017 and dropped to $305.7 million in 2018.
We're going to start with the SWOT analysis. For strengths, we see strong global and brand tied to consumer electronics for Samsung, as well as semiconductors, manufacturing expertise, and support. Apple has a strong brand image, high profit margin, and is a brand of choice. LG has growth in the home appliance and extensive distribution, and Huawei has competitive pricing and high quality products. Their weaknesses, in case of Samsung, they depend on Android OS and the lack of competitive comprehensive platforms for hardware, software, and services. Apple has higher prices, incompatibility with other softwares, and reduction in phone sales. LG has muted sales in mobile communications, exposure to exchange risk, and lack of capital. And Huawei has lack of capital and is weak brand.
The opportunities for Samsung and Huawei is growth into 5G tech. For Apple, it would be product diversification, and for LG, it would be expand the market. The threats that Samsung, Apple, and Huawei have is competition. Apple would be market penetration as well, and for LG, it would be the slow economic growth.
For the pestle analysis, for political issues, Samsung has the North Korean issue border, pull the Galaxy tablet from Germany. Apple has improvements to trade policies, stable politics in developed countries. LG also, as Samsung, has North Korean issues, and U.S. protection measures. Huawei has relations with the European Union in trade war issues. For the economic factors, Samsung has the Korean won in its profits to influence. Lack of focus on new markets. Apple is a growing developing countries, a lot of foothold in them. LG growth in global markets such as like India, it's up and coming. Huawei global reach with products and name. Leading brand in China. For social factors, Samsung has fast changing preferences, local and global strategy. Apple rising use of mobile access, dependent on digital systems. LG focus on customer needs, rising new generations. Huawei focuses on youth for new major buyers and connect to customers with products.
For technological factors, Samsung has increasing rapidly in the market for electronics. Apple is growing cloud computing demand. LG has increased manufacturing process, and Huawei is improving the speed and energy saving. For legal factors, Samsung is ensuring its supplier abide to law. Apple is increasing privacy regulations. LG has taken initiative in e-waste management through their e-waste recycling program, and Huawei is avoiding any kind of legalities. For environment factors, Samsung has a strong sustainability program. Apple is energy efficiency. LG focusing on rise of ethical consumerism, and Huawei is investing in various solar energy power plants.
For competitive advantage, Samsung is the leader in innovation, and it involves Korean, Japanese, and American strategies, among other advantages.
For Apple, they are able to have premium pricing strategy and customer loyalty.
For LG, they're market leaders in technology, digital product growth, and market dominance.
Wide variety, high performance, and energy efficiency are a Huawei competitive advantage.
For domestic competition, Samsung is the leader in technology in its home country, Korea. 71% of the smartphone market share belongs to Samsung. The next closest competitor is LG with 7%, and Apple in 11%, and all the other competitors less than 1%.
The closest domestic competitors to Apple would be Microsoft and Google, competing in the operating system, Dell and HP competing in the computer cells, and Amazon in their services like Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Amazon's digital music services.
LG, the domestic competition is Samsung, Panasonic, and Sony. Panasonic is a Japanese company, while Sony is also a Japanese company.
Xiaomi, Oppo, and Vivo are Huawei's biggest competitor in China. Vivo is known for its best audio, and Oppo is known for its camera.
Here you can see all the industries that are competitors. You have smartphones, smartwatches, tablets, operating systems, personal computers, and internet services.
Samsung's website is Samsung.com. It is controlled by Samsung Electronics Co. and is focused on United States, Brazil, and the UK. It has internet sales of $1,119 million in 2019.
Apple's website is apple.com, and it is one of their ways in order for them to sell their products. and their internet sales have been $26,191.78 million in 2019.
For LG, I could not find any information on the online sales, but I found their online market share for TV is 11.1%.
Huawei.com is their online website in which in the second quarter of 2018, Huawei Samsung smartphone volume share in online channel is 40%.
We did a comparison between the global market share between our companies, seeing that Samsung has an 18% market share, Apple 20%, LG 9%, and Huawei 10.7%. Some of the product differentiators are Samsung. It has a large product range, and it uses Samsung Pay and control it. You can connect your phone to other devices too, like your TV, your refrigerator, etc.
Apple has customer loyalty, and their elegant designs have cutting-edge aesthetics.
LG goes for ergonomic designs for customers, high-end TV technology, and new generation of curved smartphones.
Huawei offer unique product feature and offering innovative products to delight customer.
For service differentiators, as mentioned before, Samsung is a leader in innovation. It is present in multiple markets, and it has price ranges that are between lower and higher income customers.
Apple focuses on retail products in its own Apple stores and online.
LG is focusing on artificial intelligence and their products, while also LG U Plus Nation 5G scale up.
Huawei had a heavy investment in marketing, advertisement, and celebrity endorsement.
For their first mover status, Samsung created the first mobile handset in 1991, and they added the 5G version of the S10 in 2019. Apple had brought the touchscreen technology in 2007. LG has a larger foothold in China in 2009, and Huawei has a long range of 5G technology and 5G network.
All four companies follow similar methods of value chain, but they implement this method in their own way. For example, LG and Apple's marketing sales, Apple does selective unveiling, while LG does exclusive showrooms.
For the competitor suppliers, each of them have similar and yet have a wide range, as you can see here.
These are the methods of distribution of Samsung. We can see that they have GVM, OEM companies, overseas factories, etc., to bring products to eventually reach the final distributors and reach customers.
Apple's methods of distribution is through online stores, through their Apple Store, through their Apple online store, and through the third-party wholesaler like Walmart and Best Buy, and they all reach the final customer.
Here is LG's overview of their system. Standard, but they also franchise their stores out.
Huawei distributor has 3 levels of sale partner before they reaches end user. All 4 companies have similar logistic. They all are working with many different logistic firms that handle everything, include warehousing, distributions, and inbound and outbound transportation management.
For their outsourcing policy, Samsung is known for outsourcing less than 10% of their production. They do have manufacturers outside their home country, Korea, but majority of them are their own plants. They consider in-house manufacturing their mainstream of the company, even though it's expensive. However, recently, they announced that a fifth of their smartphone production will be manufacturing Chinese ODMs in 2020 in order to compete to Xiaomi and Huawei.
For Apple, the number one reason of our outsourcing is not because of cheap labor, it's because it is fast. As you can see in this infographic, the period to hire 8,700 engineers and to manage 200,000 factory workers. In the US, it would take 9 months, while in China, it would take 15 days. And most of the company's manufacturing and production is primarily located and manufactured in Asia.
For LG, they've shifted 30% of their production over to ODM, which is original design manufacturers. That has shown to shave off costs of the phone department. LG's also been able to keep up with Samsung's market strength with outsourcing.
Huawei have been outsourcing with many countries, one of which is Switzerland. In 2012, Huawei has providing a range of service and responsible for managing Sunrise mobile and fixed network.
Samsung invests 7%, more than 7% of their total global revenue in R&D, reaching $17.34 billion in 2018.
In 2019, spending of $16.22 billion on research and development, which marks the highest that Apple has ever spent.
LG in 2018 had invested over $17 billion in next generation technology such as car components, self-driving sensors, plastic organics.
And Huawei has invested more than 10% of its sales revenue in R&D annually. And in the past decade, they had accumulated over $68 billion in R&D investment.
For their sales volume, some things to highlight is that Samsung sold 2 billion Galaxy smartphones by 2019, 7 million of tablets in the fourth quarter 2019, and more than 10 million refrigerators over 130 countries.
For the products of Apple, we can see the net sales from 2016 to 2018, and there was an increase of around $50 million from 2016 to 2018. And there was a decrease of sales of iPads and Macs, and an increase of sales of iPhones from 2016 to 2018.
LG, you can see their biggest product is home appliances, with 2018 at 17 billion, with their lowest at the car components, which is only 1.2 billion, which is still a lot.
And Huawei sold 240 million devices in 2019.
As we can see, the core products and services of these four countries are pretty similar. They have mobile devices, watches, networks, tablets, TVs, and many others.
The main core product that Apple has been selling throughout 2016 up until now is Apple iPhones and services.
LG's biggest product are the home appliances, while the TVs are follow-up.
Huawei had a mobile phone, MateBook, and MatePad.
The customer base demographics for Samsung depends not in their gender or their occupation. They seem to be pretty similar. Is directed to student, employees, and professionals, male and female. However, the age range changes depending if it's IT, and mobile communications, consumer electronics, or the device solutions. We can also see that 32% of the revenue is based on America.
Apple's customer base demographics is mainly from 18 to 45 years old and male and female. We can see that they aim towards teenagers, students, professionals, managers, and executives.
For LG, their demographic divided into basic income to occupation, demographic, sites classified tier 1 to tier 2 cities, psychographic, market divided into lifestyles and personalities, and then behavior is divided into benefits.
66% of Huawei mobile phone users are male, and Huawei users are mostly male, aged between 30 to 34.
Their CRM methods. For Samsung, it acquires new customers or white gloves with direct marketing with gifts. They also have relationships with the customers, reward loyalty programs, and retain customers through innovation.
We can see Apple's acronym. They use their acronym, and with this, after they have done the CRM effort, they gather all the information from social media point of sale promotion and are able to inform users about new products, events.
For LG, their main slogan is customer value creation. We committed to enriching the lives of our customers through technology and innovation.
Huawei adopt a service-oriented architecture framework, keep the principle of simple, open, convergent, agile, smart, and Huawei integrate business intelligence.
For these four companies, they have similar rewards and incentive programs. Samsung has the Samsung Rewards and Samsung S Club. Apple has their Apple Card trade-in and special financing. LG goes through a lot of sales and discounts and rewards. And Huawei has the VIP rewards. Samsung is also in the enterprise management business. Their most used programs are the Samsung Knox and the Samsung SDS EMM. Samsung Knox is directed to small and medium businesses, while SDS MM is to regulated industries and for international standards.
The enterprise management insights on Apple are device enrollment program, volume purchase program for apps and ebooks, device management protocol. This helps determine the lifecycle management of Apple devices.
LG focuses on the enterprise resource planning module mostly for their businesses. As you can see in this chart, they follow each one.
Huawei has enterprise main account and sub-account. Enterprise management is manage the organizational relationship between enterprise departments and projects.
For technology infrastructure, Samsung aims always to stay ahead in technological innovation. Their products use Android system, and they have been successful because of the virtual reality products, smart technology, connected products, etc.
Apple's technology infrastructure is the iOS and Mac OS system. Apple has created their own system for their own Apple hardwares. They also created iCloud and iTunes. iCloud, a cloud storage where you can store documents and photos, and iTunes, where you can listen to music and download music.
LG only uses LG.com because their smartphones use Android systems.
Huawei technology infrastructure focus on server, storage, and cloud to adapt to customer need.
For their advertising methods, Samsung used the push and pull strategy. They have investments in traditional investing, and they also use online sources. They use sponsorships and celebrities in depending on their target market, and they use viral marketing.
For Apple, they try to keep it simple and want the audience to understand whatever it is that they're promoting. So they try to use the audience's language. They use product placement. Instead of focusing too much on marketing, the own target market does the job for them, like YouTube unboxing, iPhone, Mac computers, and they create experiences, not just products, and stand for something, helping customers want to belong in the Apple community.
LG focuses on creating a strong brand, differentiated, aims to create connection with humanity, aka you can see the smile on the face.
And Huawei creates strategic campaign to increase brand awareness and create large exhibitions for new products or some of Huawei advertising methods.
And here you can see the social media markets for each company. Social media is going to be the next cheapest form of marketing itself, and each one is steadily growing. And we decided if we were to invest in Samsung, we decided yes, because it shows good strength and market dominance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So much.